Yeah. As you can see from the expression on my face, number 4, Next Generation. Yep. Yeah, that's right, I did that. Oh. Yeah, it broke open. I don't care. Let's just get on with it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. Released in 1997. Well, it was supposed to come out in 95, but they dumped it in like 20. They released it in like 20 cities. Made very little money, barely, almost making no money. Then it was released on direct to DVD. I don't care. I don't care if this is a low budget film. $600,000 budget film. So what? So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Well, even though I'm ranting horrendously on this film, but I will get to the point. I'll get to say only 2 things. Of course, this film stars Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. This is before they became big stars. So, Matthew McConaughey. I remember there was reading on him. He didn't want this film to come out yet because at the time he was doing the film, Joel Schumacher's film A Time to Kill, with Sandra Bullock and Samuel Jackson, and he was trying to push. I believe he was trying to put pressure on Columbia, the company that owned this film. He was trying to put pressure on Columbia not to release this yet because of wait till Time to Kill. And Renee Zellweger was also the time she was also doing the Tom Cruise film Jerry Maguire, and she didn't want this film to come out again. So, and she wanted this film to come out because Jerry Maguire and A Time to Kill both of those movies were big films. So they really wanted to wait on this, wait till after those movies were released, then we'll release this after, try to get money because those two stars starred in those 2 films are big hits, so we'll wait on it, and we'll see after this. Hopefully they'll try to make the big bucks. But frankly, it didn't, which really glad about. So, as a freaking 2.9 on IMDb, to me that's just way too high, and it should deserve a complete 0. Even in Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 17% Rotten Tomatoes. That shit is way too high. That should be much more lower too. That also deserves a freaking 0. This is a completely utter load of burp. There was a burp right there. That's why I want to do a burp on this film. I don't know where to start. Okay, so it starts with every other Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. It opens up with end credits. Opening title crawls, where someone narrating, telling what happened in the past. The funny thing is, during this title crawl, when this person is speaking it. It sort of like mentions the previous 2 films, 2 and 3, but how to say it's like I was saying a bizarre Chainsaw Will and family that pours out through Central Texas, and not one of the suspects were apprehended, and nothing further was heard for the past 10 years, and I'm thinking. Well, in the opening title crawl in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, they said they caught the cook and they put him in the chair, even though he died in the second film. He died in the second film, but the opening title crawl number 3 said that they caught him, they put him in the chair, and they said that Leatherface was part of his personality. So, but in this though, it says here not one of the family members was ever apprehended. And then later on it says that after that 2 minor incidences happened. So I think they kind of mentioned that chance on 2 and 3. These are minor instances. Really? Okay, whatever. So then, so the original, Renee Zellweger, as her character's name is Jenny. There was also sort of a backstory with her having a abusive stepfather. Well, at one point that was kind of pointless until, to me, like later on, until I figure out some of it later on in the movie. But I'll get to that though. So she has her boyfriend and this guy Barry and her girlfriend. They're going to go prom. No, prom night. And the other characters are completely forgettable except for Renee Zellweger. But her 3 friends are completely forgettable, you know. Especially this guy, the guy Barry, which I really hated him. Hated him because he was talking with his so-called girlfriend. He was saying that well, the girlfriend found out that he was kissing a woman behind her back. Okay, and she gets mad, and they both get in the car and they just drive off. And if you hear something in the background, please just ignore that. If you hear that in the background. But the guy's like, you know, wait, if you don't have sex with me, I'll have prostate cancer. And she says, well, it is kind of my fault, but. So she actually believed the guy. I don't care about this. But the guy is just a stupid, dumb bonehead. So as we keep on going, the girl is driving fast. She runs a stop sign. They hit a car and they keep going. I mean, what are you doing? You know, you hit a car, but you keep on going. And so, but then they keep on driving. I don't know how, and then they're driving. And all of a sudden, they're in the middle of nowhere. Like like that one point when we start driving, but all of a sudden they're just driving on the road in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how that happened. Then they crash into another car, and the driver comes out. He says, "I'm not hurt," but then he just falls and passes out. Then, well, they said that they're going to try to get the bonehead Barry guy, and the girl and Renee Zellweger. They said they're going to go and get help, and Renee Zellweger's boyfriend, stays behind to look at the passed out guy. As they do that, they come across the woman. Which I already knew the second I saw her. I knew she was a bad guy already, working with the family. I already knew that right from the start. The second I saw her, she said that they're going to call for help, and the next thing, the dumb Barry guy and the girlfriend, they see a truck they see a truck drive right past them. And they just run after it, and they just leave Renee Zellweger behind. And the funny thing is, there was another. I don't know how it was dumb or it was meant to be funny that it's very clear that they're way ahead of Renee Zellweger, out of her sight, and then for no reason she just starts whispering. You know, telling like, "Hey, I want to go back and see if the guy who was passed out. I'm gonna go check and see if I'm gonna go back and see if they're all right." And I'm like, why are you whispering? They're out of your sight, but then you just want to whisper. But it was why are you whispering? They're not gonna hear you whatsoever. So. And then 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 they have a random shot where just a random black plastic bag just pops out of nowhere and attacks her. Yeah, she turns around and all of a sudden a black plastic bag pops out of nowhere and and attacks her. Just for out of nowhere, just popped out of nowhere. So, and then you go back to the boyfriend, Renee Zellweger, who and the other guy. Then that's when Matthew McConaughey comes in with his truck, and he has a leg brace. You know, he has remote controllers to control his leg brace. Like I said, the only good thing was that Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, they're only good things in this movie. And I'm a fan of Matthew McConaughey. I am. I like him as an actor. I really enjoy him. I can tell that he was having fun. Despite what this crappy, beyond shitty script. How the script is. At least how Matthew McConaughey, he's having fun. I really liked his. I think he had a fun performance in this film. He comes up to the guy, and the boyfriend is asking the guy, is he hurt? Well, oh, I think he's dead. And Matthew's like, well, I'll check. And then in front of the kid, just snaps the guy's neck. Well, he's dead now. And what is it? And then he says, what are you gonna do now? He's like, now I'm gonna kill you. Ain't no fucking biggie. At least I had fun with Matthew McConaughey in this. Okay, that's the good point in this really horrendous, total piece of crap film. At least he was having fun. So he gets in the truck, and the guy's chasing the guy in the truck because he's running. And all of a sudden, the guy just stops, and he just tells Matthew McConaughey, he's like, please, mister, you're scaring me. Oh my god. Oh my god. Please, mister, you're scaring me. Yeah. You saw Matthew McConaughey snap the guy's neck right in front of you. You saw him, right? And he said he was going to kill you. So you're running for him, and then all of a sudden you just stop and he says, you're scaring me. You're scaring me, mister. What do I do? What do I do? Oh my god. I just wanted to, to scream. I just wanted to, if I was there, if I was Matthew McConaughey, I would tell him to run for your freaking life. Run! Because this guy is just such a dumb freaking idiot. This is, this is, I'm speechless, The guy snapped the kid's neck. Matthew McConaughey snapped the guy's neck in front of you, and you tell him you're scaring him, and but and he's also chasing after you in the truck, and you're staying, but yet you keep on running on the freaking road. You're on the road. You're just running on the road, but there's like woods all around you. There's trees, right? Run to those spaces where there's trees, so the truck can't drive in, and he gets stuck there, so he doesn't have to chase after you. But no, you stay on the effing road, you dumbass, which he is, and he just keeps on running on the road, and that's when Matthew McConaughey just runs and backs up and hits him over and over again. But even though this is R-rated, you didn't see any blood or gore though. You see him get run over, but you don't see any blood spatter, or head crush. No, nothing. So, he deserved to die. He deserved to die for being such a freaking idiot, you know. Okay, so what was the next scene? Trying to think. Oh yeah. So the jerk Barry, and his dumb girlfriend, of course they find the house. They find the house, and one of the guys with a shotgun comes out of the house and holds him up, while the girl is sitting down somewhere, probably on the porch or something. The guy with the shotgun holds him up, and Leatherface, is behind. Well, yeah, he's behind the girl. He's like sniffing her hair, and then he cowers slides towards the back of the house. But then I think he trips over like a broom. I think. But then she sees Leatherface and she screams, and how Leatherface screams. He screams like a whiny bitch ass girl, like ah, ah, ah. Oh my god. And then he screams like a girl. He screams like a girl and grabs the girl and puts her on a meat hook. And then I think this is displayed well. Not really. Not really. That doesn't really play. Most of the stuff in this film plays off the original film. Where Leatherface grabs a girl and puts her on a meat hook, just like the original film. So then back to the dumbass Barry. The guy with the shotgun holds him. He runs in the house, and then he just locks the door, and he thinks, and all of a sudden he's like, it's cool now. He's saying, oh yeah, I'm safe now. I just locked the door. Even though the guy, it's his house. I think he has another way into his house. He doesn't have like another way in, like the back door or something. But no, the guy locks the door and he thinks he's fine. And now all of a sudden he has to go to the bathroom to take a piss. And he's like kind of like telling, sort of like telling his so-called girlfriend. Even he probably didn't hear her screaming. Cause like he probably didn't hear that because he's probably tone deaf. He finds a bathroom. He's like, yeah, man. There was this guy with a shotgun, but I locked him out. So he's done whizzing, and then he turns around, like the original film. Turns around, whack with the hammer. Leatherface whacks him with the frickin' hammer. And once again, no blood, no gore. You don't see his head get crushed in by the hammer, nothing. It just cuts away to just hit Leatherface, hitting the guy, and that's it. Man. And the guy who plays Leatherface, what's this guy's name? Robert Jacks. That's this guy Leatherface. This guy just sucks as Leatherface. This guy sucks as Leatherface. He is the worst. He is the worst acting Leatherface. He is. Because now they made Leatherface. All he does is just scream and whining like a little girl. And what you think he kind of got though? How do you think people say that he kind of got that way from the second film? Or so I read. I don't believe any of that. Dead wrong. They're dead wrong. He did not get that way in any. He didn't get that way in the first film. The original film, he was badass looking. Had great chasing with Marilyn Burns. Killing people in good ways. The first film, the last mask he was wearing. Yeah, he wore a mask that had makeup on him. But at least and he wore like he wore a woman dress in the like in this in another scene though, but he didn't scream like a whiny bitch. In part two, he didn't act that way. He didn't act like the way in this film. Yeah, he screamed a lot, but it was more of a man voice, you know. But this film was more fun because he fought Dennis. He had a good fight with Dennis Hopper. The kills were more brutal, you know. You know, like especially in the opening scene, you know, where he cuts that guy who's driving his head, cuts this much of this guy's head off. Even in the deleted scenes where even though you don't see he killed all those people in the garage though in the deleted scene, much more better kills than this freaking movie. So then and then so then Leatherface chases Renee Zellweger, and then and they chase the house, you know, they chase her up to the roof, you know, sort of climbs the like power line, but she falls down, chases her some more, but then finally she gets caught and tied up. Please, if once again if you hear that in the background, please just ignore that if you hear anything in the background. But still, but then of course you get the woman who they were stopped earlier. Like I said, I knew for a second she was a bad person. They dress her up once again for the dinner scene. Well, before that, she gets a shotgun, you know, but it was not loaded. She runs away, but then she gets caught again. I know. If you hear, once again, I'm saying it for the last time, if you hear that in the background, please just ignore that. Trying to do the best I could, trying to talk over this. So they dress her up brand once again for the dinner scene, and the woman who was for some reason the girl earlier who got on the meat hook, somehow she got in the middle of the road without anybody noticing. She got off the meat hook and then just crawls all the way up to the road without anybody noticing. But then she gets brought back in, and I thought this was a good moment between Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, where Matthew McConaughey is touching Renee Zellweger, and all of a sudden she goes, "Don't touch me," like this. "Don't touch me. Don't you ever touch me." You know, because I guess you get the feeling in that backstory where she had abused her stepfather, because you know she's been abused so much by her stepfather, you know, so now she's not going to take any more of this, you know, showing that she's a strong character. And then I thought it was a good moment. I thought it was a good moment with Renee Zellweger, you know. Like I said, they're the only two actors in this film that I did like. Even though this film is a piece of shit, but even though they still worked in this film, you know, despite all this badness, you know. So, and also, there's a knock on the door, and I don't know. This is just popped out of nowhere. We're just very pure randomness. I don't know what they were thinking. This guy who came in from in a limousine, who has like all these tattoos and piercings, you know, had like piercings here, or whatever, and the tattoos all over here. Just, you know, just licks Renee's face, you know, and tells Matthew McConaughey, you know, some bull crap thing like 1,000 years, you know, is supposed to, you know, keep inject the fear to everyone. I don't know what he said. I just didn't even give a crap. This movie was just so bad. I just wasn't even paying attention to what he said. It was something like that, you know. You know, he sounds like you did bad, you know, and for some reason Matthew McConaughey goes all crazy, starts cutting himself, you know. Leatherface still screaming like a whiny bitch, you know. My God, this guy's. And even there was also you see this is where he made what you made more. Oh, by the way, no reason why, because I didn't even mention this. This was written and directed by Kim Henkel, who was the writer of the original film. Because he said that I think he said he didn't like the first two films, so he decided to do this film. I don't know what he was thinking when he made this film. The original is a classic. This is a solid sequel I enjoy. Even when I said this was an okay film, it still is like 5 times better than this film. So I don't know what he was and he helped write this film too. So he takes a lot of blame for this, what he did. The rest of the cast suck except for Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. And so that's what I'm saying. I don't know what this guy was thinking. He was a writer of the original film, and then he didn't. I think he said he didn't like the first two films, so he took the first two sequels, and he started to make this film. I would say a very shitty sequel in the series, one of the worst. I'll say it's one of the worst sequels in any horror film franchise. That I was saying, so something so eventually she escapes, you know. She escapes once again. I think it was like the 4th time she tries to escape. 4th, 5th. You know, she fights with Matthew McConaughey and fighting over his brace, you know, with remote controllers, you know. So she escapes again. Then Leatherface chasing after her too, you know. But now Leatherface is now wearing a dress and with a woman wig hair, and then a woman face with lipstick, you know, on it. You know, yeah, that's how you turn Kim Henkel. That's how you turn Leatherface into pretty much a woman, you know. He's like a man-woman or whatever, you know, acting like all whiny, and it's like it's because that's why he made into a woman, because when Renee goes back at the house, you know, and Leatherface is screaming, and then Renee tells her to sit the fuck down, and he does it. He terrorizes this girl, but all of a sudden she yells at him and tells him to sit down, and he does it. You just made him a total wimp. A wimp. A total wimp. That's what he is in this film. He's a wimp. He whines like a wimp. He acts like a wimp. You know, screams like a wimp. Wears clothes like a wimp. You know, women. You know, that's what he is. I'm saying he's acting like a woman in this friggin' film. So then Nicole cusses. It's daylight, and then there's the Matthew McConaughey Leatherface are chasing after her in this daylight, and then in this plane, a crop duster plane, it swoops down. I think he knows what's going on. I think he kind of knows this woman's being chased by these two guys, so he swoops down and kills Matthew McConaughey. And Leatherface witnesses his you know, there's more whiny screaming, you know, like a bitch, you know. Like even holding the chainsaw very fine, like a woman would hold it. My God, please just shut up, you know. Shut up. I don't want to hear anymore. You're freaking whining. So then she gets into this RV, this old couple, you know. She sees Leatherface. The RV tips over, and she gets into the limousine. That guy, you know, that guy with the piercings and tattoos, and you know. She gets in the limousine with him, you know, tells her he apologizes for all that stuff, and asks her to give her a ride to a hospital. I mean, what is going on here? What was the point of putting this guy in here, you know? Oh my God. And so she's at the hospital, and she's at the hospital, and they have the You have a guy who wants to give her a statement as actually John Dugan. He played Grandpa in the original film. John Dugan. He played Grandpa in the original film, so he plays as this cop at a hospital who wants to get a statement from Renee Zellweger, and you see in one of the orderlies at the hospital carting a woman away on a gurney, who's been tied down. And the woman who's being carted away, that's Marilyn Burns from the original film, who played Sally, and the guy who was carting her away, that was Paul Parton, who played Franklin, Sally's brother in the original film. So yeah, you got cameos. So you got like three cameo appearances from the original film. Big deal. Okay, yeah, okay, that was nice to throw that in there, but that didn't I didn't give a shit at all though why they were there though. Even though it was nice to see the cameo appearances, but there was no meaning to put them in there. It was supposed to be like, oh wow, there's the cameo appearances of three cast members from the original film. I didn't give a crap at all, So, and then it cuts away to Leatherface, just standing around doing a much more shittier version of the ending of this film, where Leatherface is wheeling his chainsaw around and around, in the middle of the day, still screaming like a freaking whiny bitch. My God. Arrgh! Oh, look at that. It fell out. Yeah. So. Yeah. I don't care if this gets scratched or ruined, because I ain't watching this film again. Saw it once before, but I had to revisit it again to remember everything, and I want to get it out of my head now. I want to forget this movie. I never want to see this again. Yes, Renee Zellweger. She was a strong character in this film, because especially when she said don't touch me, So yes, she's showing her strength. Strong character, yeah. Matthew McConaughey, he was fun to watch. I do admit, he was fun to watch. He was the only fun part of this movie that he looked like he was having fun. So yeah, they were the only two actors that was worth a shit in the film, but still the film was still shitty. Kim Henkel, I don't know what he was thinking. It deserves 2.9, deserves 17%, but I thought the both on those sites they deserve 0. Nada. My God. I was reading because I remember there was also something on here on the reception, is that a guy named here on Joe Bob Briggs, who he's also a critic too. He driving reviews and Monster something. What was it? Monster Vision, I think it was. Joe Bob Briggs. He said even he gave this a positive review. He said this is like the best horror film of the '90s. Makes the other two sequels like an after-school special. Best horror film in the '90s. I don't know what I was saying. This is one of the worst films of the '90s. Even here, this guy here, Thelma Adams from the New York Post, on this back here, it says Leatherface crosses Divine with Hannibal Lecter. What crosses Divine? No, he must been crossing Divine with Psycho. He must have been stealing from Psycho. It was who was like a Norman Bates. Yeah, he must. It was not a cross Divine with Hannibal Lecter. He was crossing with Psycho, Norman Bates, because he wore women's clothes, and that's what Leatherface did in this film. He wore women's clothes. He wore makeup and everything, lipstick, makeup, and screams like a woman, Wore women's clothes. That's a bullshit review. To cross Divines with Hannibal Lecter? No, he must have been crossing Divines with Norman Bates, because he wore women's clothes. Just like Norman Bates did. The kills are lame, Everything about this film is lame except for Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey. Everything else in this movie, the kills are lame. Other characters I never gave a crap about. Robert Jackson as this wimpy Leatherface. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Worst acting as Leatherface. Didn't give a crap about anybody. Even here it says here on the back cover, Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey star in this hilarious chilling remake of horror classic. So this is like a remake basically. Yeah, because there were some things that was straight out of the original. They did straight out of the original, like the girl getting on a meat hook and the guy getting hit with the hammer. Yeah. So it was like so either like a sequel or just a dumb, shitty remake. Either way I see it, this film sucks. It sucks big time, and I'll never see this film again. I'll never want to see it as long as I live. Maybe if I want to watch it again, yeah, I'll watch it only to see for Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey's performances. Maybe that's it, but still, I'm never gonna see this film again because this film just basically just fried my brain right now. I just don't. So fuck this movie, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next review of this franchise. Later.